Oh, it's time. Time to get radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Radical Comment of the Week for September the 1st through September the 7th, 2020. These are the very best comments from that time period. The three honorable mentions come to us from Martyville, Sneaky V, and Arioka. The bronze medal comes to us from Boston Rock Spot. Looks like we're setting ourselves up for the subpar console wars of 2020-2021. We got this ugly 70s ashtray with two iPods as controllers called the Intellivision Amiku, and we also have coming out the very shady, confusing, and elusive Atari VCS, which for the last 2 to 3 years has been leaving us with more questions than answers. Both of these consoles are trying to garner the casual gaming crowd, which includes myself, but neither one of these are the Nintendo Wii. Nintendo, at least were able to win over a huge audience with the Wii. In addition to being the flagship Mario/Zelda/Metroid console, the Wii's motion controls were at the time an innovative new idea, and packing in Wii Sports, which showed that what the Wii was capable of, was a major hit and sold a boatload. When even my sister owned a Nintendo Wii, I at the time had a PS3, someone like herself who couldn't care less about video games/gaming are going to look at either the Atari VCS or this Amiku thing and basically not even give the time of day. As far as software is concerned, aside from maybe Earthworm Jim, what software titles are offered that perhaps are not available on the Android, Apple mobile platforms? Meaning, why do I need this thing when I already can run what they offer on a tablet or a smartphone? In this day and age, the amount of gadgetry available to us and the choices we have are staggering. There's laptops, desktops, consoles, smartphones, tablets, iPods, key fobs, hose. Just seeing if you're paying attention, wink wink. Yeah, they are available. And yet the average modern smartphone or tablet is fully capable of running games. I find that both Atari and Intellivision are going to have a tough sell with their respective pieces of hardware aimed at the casual gaming audience. I could be wrong about the Atari VCS being aimed at the casual crowd, as I'm still not sure what the hell that thing is supposed to be. Real gamers will always back their favorite consoles or PC hardware, and as long as Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Acer, MSI, and Dell, Alienware keep churning out hardware, then they'll have their respective market for years to come, as long as they adapt to the ever-changing times. Although I could see Nintendo go the way of Sega in 10 years. As far as myself is concerned, I have zero interest in either the Amiku or the VCS. I'm a Switch owner myself. I enjoy the console very much and don't care what others say about it or Nintendo. And yes, I'm stoked for Super Mario 3D All-Stars because I never played Sunshine or Galaxy. In the end, I'm just not sold on the Amiku or the VCS. I don't see it being very successful because the thing is, and you talked about the Wii for Nintendo. And the Wii, wasn't the most cutting-edge graphical console, but, it was a big hit for casual gamers, I mean, you would see a lot of different people from different age groups playing the Wii, and, that's a console that really did bring families together, but it had the Nintendo badge. It had Zelda. It had Metroid. It had Mario. It had Wii Sports packed in with it. So I see that as having a mass market appeal. But that came out when? 2006? It's now 2021. And I think, it's really foolhardy to try to recapture that in a console without the same kind of games that Nintendo has. It's fighting an uphill battle, right? And I don't see why people I know there's people excited about it. But I don't see, in comparison to all the other things you mentioned, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, your smartphone, your PC, all that competition going up against this. I just don't see this being very successful. I don't see this, Earthworm Jim. Okay. Some people are interested in Earthworm Jim, but how many people are really going to get a console and wait a year? Is it a year away for Earthworm Jim? Is this going to be like the Earthworm Jim console? What? Evil Knievel. That's not going to do it, right? When you're pumping up Evil Knievel as a big, It's not an exclusive game even, but oh, there's exclusive things about it. Like, who was clamoring for more Evil Knievel? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just hilarious to see. I don't see this thing being a success in any way, shape, or form. Like you said, with all that other competition, even though, I mean, Tommy and, whoever that is behind this console doesn't think that there's a lot of competition. And as far as the Atari VCS, I don't really keep up with that, but yeah, I don't know. The battle of the, I don't know what to call them. Like, I just think ultimately they're going to not really make any kind of a difference. And we'll look back years from now and be like, what? What was that? I mean, it might be there's always generations to where there's a couple consoles that were just forgotten by time. And I can almost guarantee you that this console will be forgotten by time. Thank you, Boston Rock Spot. The silver medal comes to us from Destroyer of Heroes. This was the norm with Electric Playground. Tommy was essentially playing a character on this show. All of his reviews came across as the rock star that was too cool for the show. This is why people still hate him to this day, but at the end of the day, it was just like pro wrestling. They had a face reviewer and a heel reviewer. This was like the Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawyer calling a wrestling match. I didn't put too much weight on anything from that show. I remember being a huge fan of Tallarico's music, but hating him as an on-air personality. Maybe that was the producers making him a bad guy on the show to create an interest. Maybe it was Tommy's inner D-bag shining through. I've said this before and I will say it again. This YouTube character of Tommy is the same way. Instead of focusing on the real questions about the Miku, this is what he does online all night. Tommy Tallarico. These folks get more pathetic by the day. It's pretty clear at this point that he has personality disorder and extreme Tommy derangement syndrome. Poor kid. Gotta start feeling sorry for these folks at some point. He's so egotistical that he thinks he needs to tell everyone his opinion based on misinformation. Kind of funny that everyone, they accuse me of, being a liar, egotistical, deleting comments, moving goalpost. They all do themselves. Interesting bunch, eh? The sign of a true loser is someone who spends so much time focusing on something they hate so much. Sad folks. And going back to your comment, this is why I asked him if this was simply an employee of Tommy Tallarico manning the account. Like a PR guy or an intern, it's hard to believe that a seasoned veteran in the industry would link a fandom page to defend himself rather than a reliable source like IMDb. He also bragged about having offices all over the world, which kind of puts things in a weird perspective when you consider this is a man staying up all night writing personal attacks to people about their weight and their families and their mental illnesses. Again, though, controversy creates cash, right? All this old school internet flaming and trolling should generate a buzz, right? The real gamers continue to just want to know about the system itself, especially the support of the truth regarding the specs. Nobody wants this to be the Ouya 2. That thought is in the back of everyone's mind. People are either going to choose Amiku as a system of choice or take a leap of faith and add it to the current big three that they own. This is the obstacle for any new system on the scene. The big three are so well established here in 2020 that almost any outsider is automatically destined to fail when all of the big three will be a layup. Sounds like Tommy is betting his rock star attitude that internet trolling is the best tactic for promoting the system based on what I've seen all over the internet. In 2003, this would have been a solid gamble, but here in 2020, where Tommy is a man in his 50s in a cancel culture environment trying to promote and sell a brand new console to the market, it's not a solid game plan. This could seriously be his own undoing at the time of the day. Well, one thing I cannot verify is the things you say about him writing personal attacks, about their weight, families, mental illnesses. I can't verify that. I haven't not seen any instances of that. I'm not saying that that's not truthful. I just can't really personally verify that. And about Electric Playground, I could see that. It's very popular on a TV show, a review show, a lot of sports shows. I look at Skip and Shannon, and I really don't know if Skip personally has a lot against LeBron James, for instance, but it makes great business and gets a lot of views whenever one of them picks a certain team and the other one picks another team. They battle each other and they choose sides, you know. For instance, like, well, I mean, there's many instances I can point to on YouTube to where there's different people and there's maybe a good cop and a bad cop. Or, you know, there's someone really positive and someone that's just kind of bleh. You know, it seems like that was the case. I think it's a point, and that's why I don't like the fakeness and people playing fake characters. Because it just comes across as not genuine. It becomes a show. It becomes a show. Not saying that it can't be entertaining, but I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that really don't know that it's a show and people are playing characters. Okay, but we're talking about, towards the end of your comment, again, the crowded marketplace, and nobody wants it to be the Ouya 2. Well, I will say to that, maybe it needs to be. Maybe it needs to be the Ouya 2. You know, maybe people need to really learn lessons when they come out with a competitor and they don't really put a lot behind it. I mean, people aren't as much offended that it's competing against, you know, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. Hell, you know, you look at something like wrestling and a lot of people are like really getting behind AEW, you know, because a lot of people are not happy with WWE. The thing is, though, when it comes to video games, for the most part, people are really happy with Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft. Now, people criticize them a lot, but generally, people are mostly happy with the big three. I don't see like a lot of opening for, you know, other competitors. The big three, like I said, PC. I don't see. I mean, there's a market, I'm sure, but it's such a small market. And I don't get why Tommy's really positive and really happy about it, and that's good. But, I mean, how much of that is like he's having to be because he's so invested in it, right? And, you know, personally, you know what I think? I think personally behind the scenes, Tommy's probably playing a Switch, you know? Thank you, Destroyer of Heroes. And the gold medal today, going to come to us from Puzzler. And I mentioned before that it was a crazy thing that happened. This is a person 4 months ago that was a part of a rad response. I gave this person a rad response, and they came back and they got a gold medal comment. This is like mind-blowing. How the fuck did something like this happen? But it just goes to show that not only am I fair and objective, but people can come back. Anyone can come back. So this should be an inspiration to a lot of people out there that leave stupid, wrong, dumbass, weird, off-the-wall comments, and then they come back and they get a fucking medal. Imagine that. Puzzler says, "Hi Rick, thanks for the video, sincerely. So I guess it deserves a formal and absolute response. I have personally been very respectful to constructive criticism of the product from those that do their research, want to contribute and help, etc. I've had some great discussions with these folks and I respect their opinions. Whether we agree or not, we have remained friends. I'm talking about fools that have no life, spend hours, not morning coffee minutes, but hours on a daily basis, yes really, trying to smash a toy that is not like their little Nintendo. They will not listen, and when you try and reason with them, oh goodness, they ignore facts and continue to insult and criticize, continue to harass a community, and accuse someone like me, or even Tommy, for not liking criticism. This is a very sad existence and very toxic, and it's a true testament to their character in real life. This is what Tony K and or KS1 are referencing. This is very behavior. They do not play such comments towards the respectful critics, and the words may be inappropriate, and the delivery may be poor, but I do agree with him/them wholeheartedly in the message to these trolls, who are likely mostly straight male adults, maybe 20 to 40 years old, to get a job, leave mommy's basement, get laid, and have a life and move forward instead of sitting behind a screen in a cowardly subsistence trying to trash a toy. I agree with the message, not his words. Trolls out on their pathetic existence They rebuttal with an attitude like they're on some crusade or mission to correct a great evil. Since when do we have marchers against a toy that is just a couple hundreds of dollars? Nobody is forcing them to buy it. And if they've invested any money on the pre-order, it's completely refundable. Total insanity. If they want to protest something, why don't they spend this time to protest the fact that innocent people are getting killed by the police for being black? What about the income gap and its cruelty that it's bringing to our society? Why not speak against the many governments that have been irresponsible regarding this pandemic killing many thousands more than it should have? What about the corrupt online companies tracking your data and selling it for profit and seriously compromising your privacy against your permission and further contributing to the income gap? No. They march against a toy of only a couple $100 that nobody is forcing them to buy, only because it's not like what they're used to. Really, Rick, they have lost touch with reality. I see this, and so does Tony K. KS1, and I see how it is ruining their lives. I subliminally already hear them protesting my statements. The telepathy is indeed that strong by this point. And they can go ahead and accuse me of some orientation they like, I don't care. If you want to cherry pick words like perfect and exploit them, that's fine. Play the troll game too, and I will continue to call such folk little bitches. But I dare you to tell me a system that is better than the Amiku at having hardcore games, casual gamers, and non-gamers all playing together in the same room, which is my interest otherwise, just may not have given it a second look myself. I use the word perfect because there is no better machine than the Amiku at doing this, and I have never seen anything like it ever, hence raising the bar to some form of a new perfect. This is the true core strength, not high-end graphics or immense words. I challenge you or anyone reading this to prove me otherwise against the best features. Thanks for reading. I like that you admit you probably are unaware of some facts. I would be happy to enlighten you on this too from things said in your other videos. See, this is a tricky one, A very substance-filled, a very well-written comment. There are reasons I went with this for the gold medal comment, but, it doesn't mean a comment is perfect. I disagree with a lot of things you wrote in your comment here, but, I think in the beginning of your comment, you really hit the nail on the head. When you talk about how it's a toy, and it's only a couple $100, and there are people on the internet that seem to be on a mission, on a rally, on a march against the console itself, When there's so many other things people could focus on, they seem to be on a march just against the console, like consistently, right? And the thing is, I see it. I do. And this is why I'm kind of, let's just say I'm not a fan of Tommy Tallarico. He's not a fan of me. And a lot of these people that are really kind of going over the edge, over criticize on this mission against this toy, Neither of these sides are going to be 100% completely happy with me because I see on both sides what's going on. On the one side, I don't think Tommy Tallarico is being 100% honest. I don't think he is. And I think that this console, while there's things about it that might be incredibly unique, and there's a potential in it, especially with the, whatever they're called, the vibrating things, there is a potential in it as a great gaming device. There truly is. But I think that it's going to fall far below its expectations. I think there's too much of a focus on, just to be honest, crappy mobile games. I think that it has a potential far greater than the reality. Now, you talked about perfect. I do not think it's perfect in any way, shape, or form. I do not think it is a perfect machine. I disagree with you, Puzzler, on that. But you know what? Everybody's allowed to have their opinions and their thoughts. And you are very passionate in how you feel about this toy, this device. But you know what? You and I can passionately disagree. I won't disagree that I feel that in that particular week, this was the best comment, even though it is flawed. In this particular week, I chose this as the best comment. So yeah, this definitely will be a very polarizing comment of the week. A lot of people won't agree with this choice, but, You know what? I'm judging it here, Puzzler. And it was a great comment. It was well put together. It was passionate. I just don't agree with a lot of it, but I can't take away from it. I can't take the shine off this gold medal. Thank you all. Have a great day.